How you doing, guys? Professor EDC with another BLADE-OSOPHY Sunday, and it's been a while, hasn't it? Well, it's just how it goes, isn't it? Sometimes you have something to say, and sometimes you just don't have something to say. And, I'm not about to just blurt out words just because. So, but Today we're going to play the game of aging. That's right, something that we generally don't like to talk about, aging. And it got me thinking because I had this huge task with chopping wood and taking down a dead tree, and so I've had a lot of work in that sense, and still do. And but as I ended up the day working, I noticed got a huge pain in my elbow, and I noticed that time goes by. 15, 20 years ago, that would have been nothing. The work I did, the job I did, this wood processing, would have been nothing, really. Just getting tired, that's it. But, aging happens, whether we like it or not. And so I've wanted to recover what do you call an axe, and a Grand Force Brooks axe that I once had, and also one of these. It's not a seesaw, but motor saw. Anyways, because I do enjoy working with wood and making firewood and whatnot, but it got me thinking. So why am I going to spend that big of a money in something I'm not really capable of using anymore? First class axe like a Grand Force Brooks, or a machine, a gas machine. What's this? It slipped my mind. Anyways, to cut wood. What's the point of it if I'm not gonna be able to use those tools as I used to? So it got me thinking, what would be a good knife, or which would be good folders, good knives for old age? And so I started this journey. I started this game of trying to find out which would be the best folders, the best knives for old age. And in that scenario, you got to take a lot of things into consideration. When we get older, our skin tends to get softer and thinner, something to take into consideration. We may suffer different things, and our hands may tremble, and just suffer different illnesses or whatever it may be. And I had just spoken about this, and it again slipped my mind. Anyways, one of the things I believe is that nothing really compares to a fixed blade. And so for any age, but for old age, if you can have a fixed blade, that's just perfect. We gotta take into consideration also maintenance of our folders, right? Because most often than not, we're going to have to strop them and clean them and take them apart and blanked out there and sharpen them. So notice that for this exercise, the quality of steel, we're not going to talk about Maximets, we're not going to talk about Rex 121 or 45 or those really hard steels, CDP 189. We're going to talk about softer steels. And yeah, this is not the best example, but there are knives, Bark River knives in 154 cm, for example. But this is a pretty good example of something that can still be workable and manageable. MagnaCut. So, and I do believe that a perfect trifecta or what is the Jesus, this is what happens when you're recording live. Anyways, the perfect trifecta is a fixed blade, a folder, and a slip joint, at least for me. So fixed blades are a must. Now you may have something like that or something smaller, thinner. And we're also going to think about grip and protection. This guard is fantastic. I believe this is a perfect knife for all ages. And also, as we grow old, we're not going to baton through hard woods. At least not in the city. So we really got to think what's appropriate for each and every one of us, according to where we live, to the activities that we're going to put that tool to work. And so Trinity, that's the word I was looking for. The perfect Trinity is a fixed blade, a folder, and a slip joint. So here we have two examples of those fixed blades. Now we're going to touch base with folders. And this I chose out of my whole collection because I really enjoy these knives. One of my favorites is the Shaman. And just a good size, strong at the same time, very slicey. For all ages, to open with the spidey hole is just fantastic. Ergonomically, awesome. It's got this finger choke that serves also as a guard, so that's safe, pretty safe. But why wouldn't I choose the Shaman? Because of the compression lock. And I love the compression lock, but if I'm suffering of arthritis or something like that, it's gonna get difficult to operate. It might. So I'm just taking that into consideration. So although this is a great knife and at some point, yeah, it's easy to operate in that sense, because of the compression lock, I would take this one out. Next, following the same pattern Spidey hole, easy to operate. The Chris Reeve integral lock, safe and easy to operate. How easy it is to reach, perfect, no problem here. Now, performance-wise, that's also something else that we got to think about, depending on the activity that we're going to use that tool for. And as we age, perhaps we're going to have less, our collections are going to be smaller, or we may even keep just one or two or three blades, right? That trinity. This is a great tool. Now, the only problem this has is the maintenance. First, you gotta get the darn tool or whatever it is, not necessarily from Strider, but you gotta get the darn tool. And at the same time, I haven't thought about, well, I haven't had the necessity of giving maintenance to this or having to open it. Just compressed air, alcohol, oil, and that's it. Ergos, well, that's gonna vary between the hands of each one of us, but that might be at a point against the SNG. So in that sense, and the weight is also another thing that we're going to have to take into consideration. PSF 27 steel. So it's not going to be that hard of a steel. In that sense, good for maintenance. I think this could be a good knife to age with. So we're gonna leave it on the table. Another one that might be good to age with is the CKF Evo. This is the second version. I have the second and the third version. And though I like the third version more because it's bigger, the weight, this is just perfect as well. And then we go again with the frame lock or the Chris Reeve integral lock. Easy to operate. A finger choke, also a bit of a guard, not as safe as the SNG, but still good. Performance wise, this is going to be fantastic. Now, maintenance, yeah, this is pretty easy to disassemble, but M390 right now is not such a big of a problem, but to sharpen M390, thinking of, I don't know, 88, 87 years old, that might be a problem. Now the good thing about this is that it's so thin that it's a hollow, beautiful hollow grind. So, you know, that for this to get to thicken, that's going to take some time. So this is, I believe, another good knife to age with. So we're going to leave it on the table. How about those Benchmates? And I'm going to start with one of my favorites. And of course, this is a Hogue RSK, Hogue Raider. This is just a fantastic knife. Ergonomically, great. Weight, great. And this is a great knife to age with. Just so easy to operate. One problem is the access lock. If we have to take this apart, and I have taken a few of my Benchmates apart, sometimes it gets complicated. And I'm not so sure that in that sense it would be the best thing for my old age. So I'm going to take this, unfortunately, out of the table. The bug out is also a great option. And particularly the bug out, because of the construction, how light it is, and this you can give maintenance with compressed air and alcohol and just gunny juice or whatever oil you like to use. So I've done that with the bug out. So in that sense, I'm going to think about it. Also, my very lovely Osborne 940. It's the same thing as the Hogue Ritter. This one I've taken apart to give maintenance to. And although right now it's easy, it might get complicated. So at old age, I think we tend to try to simplify things. Heck, I'm trying to simplify things right now. So, you know. And because of its construction, it's not an open construction like the bug out. And, you know, it requires a little bit more of detail, I think. But I am going to leave the bug out on the table because of that. Now, a great option is a flipper. For old age, a flipper that flips well is, and I just had to put the Evo Typhoon, of course, Brian Ado, just one of my favorite folders, if not the favorite. It's just fantastic. It's safe. It has this very well designed guard. Love the profile of it. This Japanese tanto with a harpoon, compound grind, fuller, just everything speaks to me. Everything of this knife speaks to me, of this folder. Easy to give maintenance to. You know, not that hard. One thing though, the handle, it's a bit slippery. And with thinner skin, you know, that might become a problem. If this was micarta, things might change, but and of course, I gotta exaggerate things just a little bit. Just thinking of a bad scenario where I still want to use a knife, and just gotta really think about which one might be the best. And all that you see on the table are knives that I truly enjoy and love. But I'm gonna have to take out, because of the slippery factor, I'm gonna have to take out the Evo Typhoon. And then we're gonna go with the Insingo, the Inkosi Insingo. Now, this has a better grip. The frame lock, I didn't choose the Omnumzan because it's a bit more bothersome, the frame lock on the Omnumzan, but here it's just so easy. Now the Inkosi has one problem, and that's going to be the thumb studs. We all know Chris Reeves thumb studs, and how bothersome they might be. I've gotten used to them and know how to place my finger to not feel the tip of them, but I've already gotten used to them. But that is something that, you know, might just come into play. Might be a factor that with thinner skin, with arthritis, might, you know, I might have to take into consideration. But for right now, I'm going to leave it on the table. And of course, with the micarta, it is a bit heavier. Gotta think about weight. How about a Jack Wolf? Love the sharpshooter. Is it the sharpshooter or is it the no, the sharpshooter? Which one is it? Man, I forgot. Anyways, it's of the same family. But here the only problem is you can, let's see, you can pinch that blade and open it, no problem. You can still flick it, no problem. But this might, you know, the top flipper might be a problem with older hands and whatnot. Another thing that might come into play is how hidden the frame bolster lock is. So in that sense, right now I have no difficulties. Who knows? Things change. Perhaps that might affect my taking this into consideration. But it is a great option, performance-wise, and just the look of it. Check that out. Desert ironwood and just beautiful. The clip is a problem. That is a problem. So, but not because of that I'm leaving it out. I'm leaving it out because of the it's harder to access that lock. So we're gonna take that out. And next we're gonna go with the Drunken. Great design, just easy to open. The blade to handle ratio is fantastic. The frame lock is easy to access, to open and close. Now the only problem with the Drunken is it's not the best ergonomic folder out there. It's a great looker. It's fantastic. The geometry on this is fantastic. And the second thing, and most important, this is S90V. And although it has a great geometry, you know, here, hey, that's me. Trying to sharpen this is not going to be an easy thing at an older age. So we're gonna have to take out the Drunken. And that leaves us with what we see on the table. Now for slip joint, before slip joints, we have the nightshade. Now this has the advantage of the spidey hole, so it's easy to open. Liner lock, easy to access, easy to close. Maintenance, pretty easy to give maintenance. And this is the Nitro V one. Yeah, Nitro V, easy to give maintenance to. So this is one, and micarta. So great retention there. So this one we'll leave on the table. Now for slip joints. Oh no, we still gotta go to this one. Well, this is just fantastic gent piece. I think I would love to have this in my old age. Of course, I don't know what I'll be cutting when I'm older, but this is going to be so easy to carry, to have in my front pocket or in the fifth pocket in my jeans. But there is one thing about this one, and you can just pinch open and that's it, no problem, like with a slip joint. And if you get used to it, you can one hand open it, no problem. The only thing is, and the axis, you can close that frame lock, no problem, or liner lock. What is this? Is it a frame lock or liner lock? It's more of a liner lock. But anyways, it's so small, so I might lose it. I don't know. You know, that's something to take into consideration. And now we go into slip joints. And into slip joints, basically there are two options for me. That's going to be Great Eastern Cutlery and Jack Wolf, of course. Now, here we really got to think about the tension and the pull. How accessible is that? So in this case, the disadvantage I see in the Jack Wolf is that the steel S90V, oh, this is M390, but if I chose one of the S90V, you know, now it has, although these are harder steels, the thinness of this thing is fantastic. So that's going to help me out. And it's going to be a pain in the butt just sharpening this, because it's just by stropping or barely sharpening it, it's easy. Of course, this is going to be easier, 1095. Now it's going to depend if you like patinas or not. But this, again, it's going to be easier to give maintenance to. Now, let's simplify this just a little bit. Maintenance, that would be a bit more difficult. Really like it. Jimping is a bit harsh on this one. On the Evo 3 is a bit softer. So, and the guard that is also a choil is, you can feel the very tip there. So, and you know, blood gets thinner as well as we age. So again, for whatever reason, if I have to give maintenance to this bug out, and I had to order some Omega springs, that's something to think about. Beautiful, great knife. Now if I have this at home, this is a pretty good thickness as well, but where am I going to carry it also? This is a bit heavier as well, whereas this one, I think for that age, for my old age, this is going to do pretty much everything I needed to do, I think. So what about our folder? I have taken this Mandy apart, and trying to put the darn pivot is just, it's not hard, but it ain't easy. And again, we come to how pokey the thumb studs are. Now, any of these knives are fantastic for any age, right? But just gonna have to leave that Chris Reeve out. And because of the same situation of, you know, putting this together and don't want to lose it, I'm gonna have to leave the Mandy out. And that leaves us with 4 on the table. Slicey, strong enough, maintenance very easy, sharpening very easy. S35, Nitro V, and then we have M390 and 1095. Because of the thinness, this is going to be fairly easy to give maintenance to. And to open it, it's very, very easy. Now that is for this model, for the Midnight Jack. Not all models are that easy to open. And then, of course, Great Eastern Cutlery. There are other. I have a couple of other models, especially the what was it, a 74 pattern, I think, that's easier to open, or 86. This is not hard right now, but well, there you have it. That would be a good choice for old age. What would be your choice? Hope you enjoyed it. Professor EDC out.